This audio should be taken for its historical value only.
On Alexander's a big show with Booger Jr., who was Booger Scarlet, and Jr. wound up pulling his face apart in under an hour, I think it was, something like that, winning Best in Show. There was another one I had. We called her Little Brandy, which was from Buck Brandy. I won 3 with her, and she was really good dog. Reminded me, of all the dogs I had, she reminded me most of Buck. You never saw the best out of her.
Oh, okay.
Never saw the best out of her. She had a great mouth like his, looked like him, was 33 pounds, actually.
And did she carry the traits as being smart?
Yeah, she was smart. She was extremely smart. I had to chain her inside a kennel because if you didn't, she figured out how to get away from either one of them.
Right.
You know, she had extreme stamina like Buck had, great smarts. And right around that 20-minute mark, she would do what Buck did. You think they were lazy and just like, nah, she was figuring out what you were doing and then just whooped your ass at it. That was the thing about Buck. It didn't matter what style you brought to him. I'm a firm believer that the dog's styles are everything, right?
Right.
It didn't matter what style you brought to Buck. Face dog, head dog, chest dog, back end dog. Buck could figure out what it was to beat your ass and then beat you at it. I remember Pat's dog Conan was a bad back end dog, and that was that was the first time that Buck had ran in. It was the second one had ran into a bad back end dog. And I had never really seen Buck go to the face like that, and he stayed on the face till old Conan said, "Yeah, I don't want no more of this," and headed for the wall.
So what about so I guess you said you missed all but the one with Sandman, right?
Yeah, I saw
So
all but the one with
so
Sandman.
what about
Yes,
the one with Jeep Sons when Buck went into Jeep Son champion Rocky?
Rocky. That well, I knew Rocky very well. Rocky was a great dog. They went back and forth, same way the early part of that. Freddie and the boys and the guys in the island were, they were looking real high that Rocky was going to, Buck. Buck started to whine because he was frustrated, and he would do that. They had seen him do that when Conan was chewing on his back end, but they didn't remember that. And sure enough, Buck figured Rocky out and wrecked his front end. Now, to be honest, Rocky was not in good shape that day. He was too light, overworked, and had horrible nutrition. I love Freddie much, but man, he didn't take care of his dogs very well. It was Rocky's one against Super Nats Grand Champion Ace. He ate a collar and then
Right.
shit it out on the way home. I mean, that's the kind of, you understand what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, I was told that by Mr. Bill after that fight. He shit out like maybe 2 inches of a collar after that. Oh, so that
Yeah.
was into Grand Champion Ace.
Yes, and I had Rocky on my yard. I went up with Freddie the Arab, and Redline Lenny came to my house down here outside of Philly, and we went to Upper Bucks County to the Stevensons and picked Rocky and another dog up from them. Rocky was about 18 months old, drove back to my house, and they're like, well, we got to drive back to the island. This has been a long trip for us. We want to see if he's worth taking back. So I put him with a dog in my yard, and Rocky pretty much wrecked him, to be honest with you. So they took him back. It was not the same dog that went in the book. Sorry, he wasn't. Right? I don't think he could have beat Buck, but there's it would have gone longer, I believe, quite honestly. Rocky was a very good dog. His two losses were to two grand champions. That ain't nothing to sneeze at.
No, no, not at all.
You know,
Oh,
and I saw him in the Louis V and was it Jumbo Jim?
that was from Captain America, right? Jumbo
Captain
Jim?
America, right? Louis, yes, absolutely. And the Jumbo Jim was a double game dog because we all thought he had passed away in the pit, and Louis got him back, blowing in his nose, working him, turned him around about the 2 hour mark, I guess it was somewhere in there, and set him loose. Maybe it was just over the hour or whatever it was. Set him loose, and he went scratching. We all looked at each other like, "What the hell was that?"
Right.
And he went another 20 minutes. Great dog. I thought he was too light, quite honestly, that night. I think Louis wanted a shot at Buck and brought Jim was probably best at 49 pounds, and he brought him down, right?
Right.
And he was extremely good dog. Just I thought he was not strong enough that night.
Okay.
And that's but also the same thing. Hellcat to me happened with Bolt Action, right? When Chaka beat him. You could read a newspaper through that dog. Louis brought him way too late.
Oh, no, who's that? You said, oh,
Chaka and Bolt Action.
oh, okay, all right.
Bolt Action was the game of dogs I ever saw in my life. I mean, if I could have got dogs off of him, I'd have bred every bitch in my yard to him.
So did you? Oh, so you seen him prior to going into Shaka?
No, I did not.
Oh,
I did not.
okay,
I didn't. His first time I saw him was in the Chaka up at Louis. And I mean, he was a good dog, but you could just tell he was way too light.
right,
I mean, just way too light. And game air was no quit in that dog whatsoever. I mean, no quit. Matter of fact, he passed on the way over, I believe.
Hmm.
You know, shame. Like I said, I was so impressed with him and his gameness. I'd have bred every bitch in my yard to him.
right,
Come to find out, he was a pretty good producer too, right?
right. He did go on to produce part of the cornerstone of that boy's bloodline.
Absolutely. Louis always had great dogs on his yard. You know what I mean? Brian's grand champion Snake, champion Patty. And Louis was about gameness. You wanted to be Captain America? Bring a trash bag. Matter of fact, bring two of them.
Because you was gonna have to do that to one
Or
of his
both of them.
entries, huh?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Every time and I've known Louis a long time. Like I said, not long ago in somebody's post, it was because of him I met my first wife, right? Drew. And Louis was all about gameness. He didn't give a shit about anything else. I mean, gameness. And Louis was not picking up ever. You were not going to bring two trash bags.
Well, just in case my listeners, y'all might have not noticed, but I'm making this video for my car, so that's the background noise. Yeah. So, but what and well, we being that we switched on to Louis, a lot of people don't know he ran for mayor, right? Up in Rhode Island.
Yes, he did actually. Louis did. He also spent time in federal prison. Louis used to raise hogs.
Right.
And he would actually he'd take a hog, shoot it, gut it between two dogs, and that was their dinner for the next week or so. Louie had a lot of money, a whole lot of money. I never forget one time. I'm up at Louie's. We had done dogs. There was a couple matches up there that day, and we go back, and he had just gotten a new swimming pool, and there were like seats all around it. A couple were elevated, and he said, "Hey Ross, come here a minute, man." He says, "Come up, sit up here." So I sat down, and I looked down, and I'm looking at the pool. He goes, "What do you see?" I said, "Holy shit, the pool's shaped like a pig, Louie."
What was that you said? It looked like a what?
The pool was shaped like a pig.
Okay. No, you know what?
And
I was almost seeing like a pit from that, sitting in the stands, almost like if you look down. But yeah, okay. Oh, it was shaped as a pig.
shaped as a pig, and the curly tail was the jacuzzi.
Wow. Oh, he had an imagination, huh? He had a real.
He did. He did. Louie was a funny guy, man. Matter of fact, he used to own a refuse company picking up trash
Oh, okay.
up in New England. I mean, Lou had a lot of money. And a good guy, a really good guy. If Lou liked you, he'd do anything in the world for you.
Oh, okay. That's different there. He had a pool shaped as a pig.
Pool shaped as a pig, and the curly tail was the jacuzzi.
Well,
Let me tell you, I fell out of the chair laughing. Only Louie. Darren Tupper tells the story of going out there with Sonny Sykes, and Louie coming out dressed as Captain America out of the house. You know what I mean?
yeah.
That's the kind of guy Louie was. I at one time crossing the border with him and Vinny Campagnone, the three of us going up to, as we did a lot of weekends, go up to Montreal with Montreal Dogmen, right?
Right.
We're coming back over the Plattsburgh border from Donnell's house, and they stop us.
Is that the
And
navigation? I think that is right.
Gaetan Donnell, yeah, my old father-in-law,
Right.
my old father-in-law.
Own a bull, right?
Um,
Champion bull.
Yeah, own Bull. Yep, Bull owned Booger, owned Donnell's Champion Ginny, Donnell's Champion Gypsy. Gaetan and Andre were partners for 25 years. And people say just Andre. You can't say that because Andre lived in an apartment. Donnell had the yard and the property, and he worked a lot of the dogs.
Oh, okay. But what was that? You was completing the story. I kind of sidetracked you.
Right. So we stop at the border. Never forget
Right.
this. And it's me, Vinny Campagnone, and Louie. And first time coming through, they just didn't look at our license. They pulled us over. Okay. So they're running Louie's, and they come out with Louie's rap sheet, and it's like 5 foot long of stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, we're never getting out of here. And I looked at Vinny Campagnone and I said, Vinny, are we all going to jail tonight? He goes, maybe. I went, dude, are you kidding me? They had us there for 5 hours. Ripped that van apart.
Wow.
Ripped the van apart. We had no dogs, thank God. We left the banged up dogs at Donnell's house for the next weekend. So they ripped it apart. 3 hours, took us 2 hours to get that van back together. They took the seats and all out and left them on the side.
Wow.
I remember driving back to Rhode Island, and I still had to drive from Rhode Island to Pennsylvania. I'm going, Louie, are you kidding me, dude? What the hell? He goes, well, I didn't think they'd run us. My God. I got another funny story like that. I got a real funny one on the way out to Pittsburgh to a convention with a bunch of Northeast dogmen in a van on the western end of the Pennsylvania Turnpike at 4:00 in the morning. Next time we talk, you're gonna piss yourself with this story. You're gonna piss yourself. You're gonna piss yourself with this story. It's funny.
And hopefully my listeners piss themselves also in enjoyment.
They will, because it's a classic dogman story. God. You want to go into it now?
So we gonna save that. We gonna save that.
Okay.
We gotta.
What else you want to know about Buck? Because I'm rambling here. And
Oh,
I won't
okay.
shut up.
Well, no, like I said, you gave us enough. You gave us enough history for the day, this session. I appreciate the the time you spent just talking about what what was on your mind for right now. Maybe we could do a part two.
I'm going to give you one. I'm going to give you one more little part about Buck.
All right.
Buck was, like I said, he was destructive in a way, but he was a happy dog. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And he was easy to breed. So after he went on to the chain at Bemis's, I found Buck to become angrier. So Alan and I took Donnell's Champion Ginny to breed the Buck at John's house. And we tape up. We have a muzzle on Ginny's mouth, got her turned around. No breeding rack or anything. And John brings in Buck. Buck comes up the sniffer and grabs her right by the coochie.
Wow.
Grabs her right by the coochie. And Aaron rips the muzzle off Ginny and she pulls him off by the head.
So that's how she got him off. That's how you got him loose.
Oh, we're all going for a stick. Everybody had set the sticks down because we're holding the dogs. No one had it in their back pocket. And Alan just ripped the muzzle off. She pulled them off. We broke them up and got them bred. But, which surprised Alan and I because we had bred Buck 4 or 5 times, and he was easy to breed. Matter of fact, when I first bred him in my house, I just let him and a female in the house together.
Okay. What about his conformation? What you thought of his conformation? How he was put together?
I thought he had wonderful conformation. He'd be too long for the ADBA standard. But,
Right.
Buck was 46 pounds. He was a big dog. He won 46, 47 for STP and them. A big dog, big boned, long, tall, and rangy. Buck was built perfect for the box. Perfect.
Okay.
And agile is agile dogs I've ever owned. There's a real famous picture of his original sire, the real one, walking on a top of a concrete wall. That's the that's the kind of athleticism that Buck had.
Is that the
He
chemo
could.
dog?
Yeah, chemo. Yep.
I, is that? I think that's in one of Stratton books.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And he's walking on that cinder block wall. Buck could do things like that. He really could. He used to lay. He would sit on the arm of the couch. He would get up on the arm of the couch and sit there when my wife and I were watching TV.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
He was super agile.
Right. Yeah. Now, when you said that, I was trying to picture where I seen that picture at. Now you just brought it to mind, so I got to do a little searching for that picture now.
Yeah, it's funny because if you look at Buck, you would say that he was a little tater dog, right? Looked like little tater, that red nose.
Right.
But Buck looked a lot like his mother.
You got a chance to actually lay eyes on his mother, like you saw her before?
I saw quite a few pictures of her, and I
Oh,
saw
okay.
2 daughters of her, and one daughter of hers that Stephen Company down in Mississippi had. You would have thought you were looking at a female version of Buck.
Oh, okay.
They called her Little Duchess.
Was she Brindle? No.
Now she was red nose.
Oh, she's okay. Okay.
She was red nose, and the matter of fact, there was a half brother to Bucks that Mike Norrod and the boys used to beat. God, who was it down south that owned the Tech 9 dog? Anyway, he again looked just like Buck.
Got you.
So I always said he was the first breeding and not the second. Plus, who's going to trust Pat Patrick?
Oh, okay. But yeah, so we're gonna say